Welcome to the journal. We got fun and games.
With lots of really cool things where you can find hot dames.
Smell that? I smell cheese. What's up, guys? Welcome to another exciting episode of The Journal. I'm Gerard.
And I'm Michelle.
Alright, so today's show is going to be a little bit different and a little more interactive because you guys are on computers. So this is what I want you to do. I want you to go to this website. It's called twitter.com. I want you to hit the slash sign and go GE17. So that's GEEYEE 17. Okay? I want you to send me your tweets and we're going to hit you with some live shoutouts later on in the show. And I know some of you guys are watching this on YouTube and it's a little delayed. So post your comments on YouTube and we'll shout you out next week.
And for all you who don't know what Twitter is a free blogging website which can be accessed at twitter.com.
Yes, on today's show, we have an interview with Toronto FC's captain Dwayne De Rosario.
Then we find out what in the world an otaku is.
Yes, and make sure you stay tuned because at the end, we have Toronto's funniest, Joe Ianni, taking the stage.
So don't touch that mouse.
Now, drum circles, chanting, and spiritual walks are just a few things shamans do on a regular basis. Adam Binks has a clip, and it's their story of this, slightly misunderstood topic.
My name is Pat, and my medicine name is Red Moon Dragon. Well, first of all, I wouldn't identify myself currently as a shaman. I practice shamanism. My sense around identifying oneself as a shaman is it's an identity that comes from the community you're serving. Once the community sees you in that role, then you can take on the identity of a shaman. So I'm not there yet, but I do practice shamanism. Shamanism is an experiential craft, so I really believe that life has been teaching me from a very early age what this is all about. We've chosen a path that has isolated us and separated us from the natural world. Anyone who chooses to reestablish that relationship will find a home in shamanic work, I believe. As long as the individual is open to the experience, they will receive some form of understanding, integration, knowledge, healing, something that will help them on their journey. The shamanic work is really a journey into the inner world of self, in relationship with life, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. Those are the foundations of the medicine wheel, and that's the framework that we work from, because what we're trying to do is reestablish balance in the person. So it's a holistic approach to healing. We look at all those aspects of the individual and find where the imbalance is and help the person to reestablish balance again. The belief system of many earth-based cultures that at birth the human has an animal spirit that is chosen to work with them in this lifetime. So it is our belief that each of us has an animal spirit that is chosen to work with us. Something as simple as sitting under a tree for 10 minutes. I swear to God, if enough people did that for even 3 months, let alone a year, I think there would be a profound shift in the consciousness of our culture, that we could start to make the changes that we need to make. So when I go for spirit walks, that's what I'm doing. I'm feeling the energy that's around me. And I feel it in the rocks, I feel it in the plants, I feel it in the trees. I look for any signs of animals that might be about. I try to be still and as silent as I can, so that I'm not interfering with what is happening in the forest. And everything has a way of communicating and talking. We just have to be open to that possibility. And that's what I was learning when I was a 6-year-old kid in the forest. That comes naturally to kids, right? It's just that we lose it. It's taught out of us as we grow up.
Hi, I'm Dwayne De Rosario from Toronto FC, and you're watching The Journal.
Welcome back, guys. Gerard,
Yeah.
we're live.
Oh, hey guys. Okay, I'm trying to catch the Zapdos before my battery dies. All right, just chill.
Oh my God, you
I
are
understand
so obsessed.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm an otaku, all right? It's in my blood.
What's an otaku?
An otaku is a Japanese term used to describe someone with, who's obsessed with anime, video games, that whole kind of culture thing.
Okay, well, luckily, our own Persian Sasha Akbari shows us what it's like to live as an otaku.
Damn it, I need a master ball.
This
Play the
is
clip.
a convention, but not your average Star Wars, Lord of the Rings, or Trekkie convention, rather about a whole different group of people called otakus. Otakus are people who are fans of youth Japanese culture, from watching anime, to reading Japanese graphic novels called manga, to playing the related card games, and much, much more. While all of them do watch anime and read manga, we wanted to look more into the specific but related activities of an otaku. So we spoke to Tara Blair about how she makes costumes from what she watches.
I am an otaku because I love most every aspect that has to do with otaku. I love watching the anime, I love cosplaying, I love playing video games, and I love just everything that has to do with otaku. Cosplaying is basically, it's dressing up as your favorite character from either an anime, manga, or sometimes even a video game, and basically you become that character. So I pick costumes that I can use easy materials that I can base off of a t-shirt. I had a lot of old t-shirts that I don't wear anymore, and I thought, you know what, hey, instead of throwing them out, let's work with them. So I cut them, I look at a picture, I pick what I want to do, have the picture in front of me, so I'm on the floor with my laptop and the t-shirt, my scissors, and everything else I need, my thread, whatever, and I start making cuts. And I use a ruler, of course, but sometimes I'm able to just, look at a picture and then look at what I have, material I'm working with, and I'm able to recreate it right in front of me.
While many otakus do love to cosplay, a great deal would much rather embed themselves with the technical entertainment of Japanese video games, which sport the usual drawn designs for their popular animes and mangas.
All of the things that, I guess, entertainment, things that that I do in my free time is all Japanese related materials. Gaming, anime, mangas, and all the games that I own is either in Japanese or is made by Japanese. So my gaming takes priority almost over anything else. That includes food. So that means I would starve just to get a game that I want. And that has happened many times actually. Okay, an example would be waiting for, let's say, deluxe edition games like this one here, which costed me back then about $170. So, of course, with that money, I could have used it to well, I don't know, for maybe a metro pass to go to school and whatnot, and for food and drinks and for other living expenses, but no, I forego those all just for this.
Eventually, we visit a store called 1 Million Comics, which sells massive amounts of animes and mangas in order to learn about their otaku customers and what they buy.
For the mangas, we carry a large variety of mangas, from adults to also to on just regular basis new stuff, you know, like Bleach, Naruto. As for the DVDs, the same thing. For purchases, it all depends on the consumer, what they're looking for. Some people save up their money, they come like once a month, and they buy 5 or 6 sets at a time. Some of them come in weekly. As new releases come out, like for regular movies, they wait for new releases to come in, and they come in every week, and they're buying a set here or a set there.
Other than those, there are many other otakus who play the card games based on their favorite animes. Some play the Pokemon trading card game, while others, such as Frederick Scott Smith, play Yu-Gi-Oh! The card game, which is based on a popular anime called Yu-Gi-Oh!
When I was 12 years old, I saw people playing with the original startup decks like Kaiba's and Yugi's original startup deck and all that. And I saw them playing it, so I decided to try to get into it. It's challenging. You gotta think. It's like chess. You gotta think, and a good way to play chess is you think 5 moves ahead. Not just a minute move what it's gonna do, but think what your opponent's gonna do 5 moves down the road, and what you may be able to do also 5 down the road after playing that one card. Yeah, $50 a month I usually spend, between 50 to max 500 Canadian, depending on what cards I'm looking for, what cards are available.
The one thing every otaku looks forward to is Anime North.
Anime North.
The Anime North show in May and the Fan Expo show in August. And those are the 2 big conventions that we do.
Anime conventions are much like any other convention, where merchants come and sell anime-related materials such as mangas and figurines for a discount, a place to show off their costumes that they work so hard on, meet new people, and attend various events in it. The most popular anime convention in Toronto is Anime North, but as a prelude to that, people go to MTech, another but smaller convention, in March.
Basically, the con is this giant convention where you see tons of people cosplaying like me. I'm Link from Ocarina of Time, and these people work months, and some of them work a whole year leading up to this con to get their costumes together, to get their props together, to even fly into Toronto. This is my first.
While Tara Blair is cosplaying at MTech, she also went to interview a few cosplayers much like herself about their experience at this convention.
What have you guys done since you came yesterday at the con?
We did a photo shoot yesterday with a whole bunch of characters from our series. We, I guess, socialized with a whole bunch of people. We got to play music, stuff.
Yeah?
That kind of thing, just talking to old friends, meeting new ones, that sort of thing.
And what have you guys, what have you done at the con? What have you gone to?
Shopping.
Shopping?
Took a photo shoots with each other, yeah. Eating food, yeah.
And what's your favorite part of the anime con?
I guess meeting friends. Yeah. Making friends as well. Yeah. Seeing how many different cosplays there are.
Nice.
And finding candy you can't find anywhere else.
This is the culture at these conventions. They dance, they give out free hugs, buy various rare merchandise, and hang out with their other otaku friends until next anime convention in May, where they all gather once again.
Well, my phone's been lighting up like Vegas, man. I got some tweets I'm going to read out here. First off, Nigelino saying, G, love that color on you. Oh, thank you, Nigelino.
It is a nice color.
Next up, one from A. Bell. Hey, do you want to trade that Zapdos for an Articuno? P.S. Love in the journal. I think I get ripped off in that trade.
Probably.
Oh, well.
But I have no idea what all that's about. But you know what? You are a really lucky guy.
Why is that?
Because you got to interview your favorite soccer player of all time.
Yeah, you're right, I did. It's actually the chance of a lifetime to sit down with Toronto FC's captain, Dwayne De Rosario, who's in Major League Soccer. So let's have a look at that clip.
It's just been goal after goal after goal for Toronto native Dwayne De Rosario, who who spent his 9-year MLS career between San Jose, Houston, and Toronto. I recently caught up with them, and we reflected on last season, as well as talked about some of the other things going on in the world of soccer.
First off, Dwayne, so the stadium has obviously gone through some renovations. You've put in some new seats and some new grass. Are you excited for the grass?
Oh, definitely. I'm definitely one player that pushed the grass last year, and I'm happy that it's finally here, and all of our players and the fans get to watch quality games in a quality stadium, and most importantly on quality grass.
Okay, now just for some people out there, what are some of the differences between the grass and the turf?
Well, the turf from the grass, it's a totally different feel. One main thing is it's less harsh on the body. The grass is, on the turf it doesn't give. And especially when you're playing with cleats, it's very hard, rough on your back and on your knees, your joints. So grass, with your cleats, kind of gives. It has that soft ground, especially when it's wet. And grass is the real thing. It's you go in there, you smell the fresh air of the grass. You go on the turf, you smell rubber. So
now looking ahead to the season. What are some of your predictions, some of your hopes? Like, do you guys look to make the playoff push? Do you want to go deep into the playoffs?
Well, I play to win, so I'm always playing to make the playoffs. Fortunately, last year was the first year I never made the playoffs in 10 years, and disappointing. And I know this city is hungry for a playoff team, and hopefully we could be the first professional team in Toronto to capitalize on that opportunity and give back to the fans and making the playoffs.
MLS has recently let teams now sign up to 3 DP players, which are the designated players. Do you have any fantasy picks? Any guys you hope to get signed? Any guys you're trying to get as well?
Fantasy picks? I mean, there's a couple guys I would love to play with. Guys like Iniesta and Messi. But those type of players I like. But we'll see. I think the team we have is a good group of guys. And if guys come from overseas, hopefully we'll get some guys in their prime.
All right, well, speaking of players overseas, any picks for the Champions League? Who do you think are going to be the final 2, and who do you think is going to end up winning it in the end?
Well, I think I kind of gave it away with my DP spot, right? So Barcelona is definitely the team that I push for, just because the way they play is very attractive football. It's it's very attacking minded, and they're solid defensively as well. So definitely Barcelona. Make sure you check out our first game, April 15th, here at BMO against the Philadelphia Union. You could go on to MLSnet.com, click on TFC, or you can log on to DwayneDeRosario.com. You can follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and keep up to date on current events that's happening pertaining to myself and Toronto FC, and also the Canadian national team.
I know this is where I
Well, I guess it's true about the vesting, because I also noticed in that clip that you had the same vest on.
Hey, the color looks good on me. What can I say? Anyways, I got one more tweet here I want to read before we go on any further. Okay, it's from Bladrian. Yo, what's good? Props to my man, Cricket Man, for being on the show last week. Love you guys.
Cricket Man.
Yeah, he was our special guest last week. Remember the rapper?
Oh, yeah. That's right. Actually, speaking of special guests, today our special guest is what some people call a jack of all trades.
Cool. He is an actor, a writer, a stand-up comedian, and a producer. And as promised, he's going to be giving you Joe Ianni.
Thanks, guys. How are we doing today? Yes, thank you. Thank you for having me. By the way, whatever you do not make that trade. You can hold out for so much more with your Zapdos. You hold on to that guy. He is worth a lot. So thanks, guys. It's really great to be here. So I want to tell you guys a little something that happened to me around this time last year. I ran into some friends from high school, and we decided to just go and wander around downtown, just do our thing. So we're in Chinatown, and my lady friends took us into a jewelry store. So I'm like, oh, this is going to be great. Jewelry store. Even if I liked something, I have to pretend I don't, because this is a jewelry store. What can I do? And in the corner of my eye, I'm not kidding, was a pair of nunchucks on the wall. I'm like, okay, already this is a good sign. And then I look at the nunchucks, and they were $18. $18 for nunchucks. Mathematically speaking, that is less than $10 a chuck. So this is a very good deal coming around. So I go This is the best part, because I go to an ATM machine and I withdraw the smallest amount of money you are allowed to withdraw from an ATM machine, and that was enough money to buy a weapon which I can then use to effectively end everybody's life with in this room. Not that I'm gonna, because you guys have been good so far, but I could if I wanted to. And then I still had $2 left over. I'm like, man, I'm kind of hungry. I'm gonna get myself a hot dog. Not one in Chinatown, because I don't trust them too much. But afterwards, I went and got myself a hot dog, and it was delicious. So there I am with my nunchucks and my hot dog. I'm like, man, I'm sorry, prom, but you did not deliver on all the expectations I had. This is now officially the best day of my life. It is. Nunchucks in a jewelry store. It's almost like, this is going to sound weird, but it's almost like Chinatown knows what's going through our minds. It's like I'm in a jewelry store, and Chinatown, the voice of Chinatown is just saying, hey, man, we know what you're going through right now. You're in a jewelry store. Your lady friends are going to keep you here for at least 10, 15 more minutes. They're just looking at rocks is basically what they're doing, okay? We admit it. They're rocks. It's not jade, okay? I have a kid in the basement who's just painting these things green, calling it jade. That's why it's valuable to your friends. Come to the back. We've got some weapons you can look at to pass the time. Go for it. We wanted to have photos of naked women, but not everybody was on board with that, so we went with weapons. Go ahead, check it out. Enjoy it while you can, because believe it or not, our government, the Chinese government, we know everything there is to know about your government. Therefore, we Chinatown know everything there is to know about you people. One of these days, we're going to take you all over, and there's not going to be anything you can do about it. You think Chinatown is just a little settlement? No, this is our forward base of operations. This is where we will strike out. One day you will realize that you can't get into your internet cafes, and that's the day when we rise up and claim the city for our own. You see those statues outside in Spadina? The dragon statues? Yeah. Those aren't statues. Those are real dragons that are currently... They were sealed away in the last feudal era. We are 2 talismans away from restoring them to their former power, at which point they will break free from their bonds, rise in the air, and the very heavens themselves will bleed as if they were on fire, and there's nothing you can do about it. So in the meantime, we've got some nunchucks. All right, thank you guys. You've been fantastic. Hey guys.
Hey, how did you find out about our shiny secret?
I'm sorry, did I offend you?
No, by all means.
All right.
We'll get you. Don't worry.
Oh no, I'm prepared. I got my nunchucks.
You just painted the scariest picture of all time.
Hey, I'm just trying to warn you guys.
So, I guess the first question that we wanted to ask you is, how did you get into becoming a stand-up comedian?
Well, I started studying comedy at the Humber School of Comedy on Lakeshore. And before that, I was a bit of a class clown for a while. I came out of my show sort of in grade 11 when I wanted to impress a girl I liked. And I thought, man, being smart is not going to work. So I put a banana peel down, and I thought it would make her laugh, and I slipped on it. By the way, those actually work. Banana peels actually are like really lubricated, and it hurt too.
Really?
Yeah, it actually works. But she wasn't interested. But I learned that it's kind of fun to be funny and just make other people laugh, make people feel good. So we started doing some fun stunts. We started coming up with some things to do around the school. Like this one, it was called a blindfolded chariot race. And so what we did was we had 2 teams, 2 chariots each, and 4 people would be carrying the chariot, and then one guy would be sitting on top of the chair leading the team. But the 4 carriers were blindfolded, so it had to be up to the guy on top to direct his guys through the obstacle course. And the best part was he had these toy flails, and the 2 guys had to fight each other, and if you fall off your chariot, you lose. And I think it's a brilliant idea. I'm looking to bring it back to the 2012 Olympics.
Yeah.
Spread the word, chariot races, people.
Where do you get the inspiration for all these jokes and stuff?
Well, I'll tell you one thing that I don't do is that you can't just sit down on a desk. You can't just sit down on a desk and just think, okay, now I'm going to be funny. Like sometimes it has to be inspired, You just have to be sitting on the bus just thinking, and then it just comes to you oh, this is funny. Sometimes you can be in a conversation with somebody and just, oh wow, this is kind of funny. I'm going to see if I can turn this into a joke. And sometimes it's actually real. Like those nunchucks, I actually did find them. I wasn't kidding. Those actually were there in a jewelry store.
Wow.
Yeah.
So tell people where they can find you on the web.
Okay. My website is www.agoodsite.net. And you can go there, you can check my blog, you can check my podcast that I host at Yuck Yucks, you can check out my videos, my animations, all sorts of cool stuff.
Wow.
Cool. So aside from the website and stuff like that, do you have any live shows coming up?
Well, actually, the best thing to do to check out my live shows is to join my mailing list. And from there, you can get weekly updates of where you'll see me.
Cool.
All right. Well, I'd like to thank you all for watching The Journal.
Be sure to tune in next week for some more sensational stories. I'm Gerard.
And I'm Michelle.
Good night and stay frosty, Canada.
So,
Thanks
great. Good times.
Yeah.
How's those streets doing?
Not too bad.